Students, how are you all? I hope you all are safe following the safety measures. Take care of yourselves, children. Now, as we have completed our lesson Wet in the Forest, we would proceed on to our grammar part. Children, in this lesson, we are going to learn about conditional clauses. So, children, I am going to explain you about clauses, then conditional clauses, which are if clauses. And here we are going to learn about if clauses type 1 and type 2. So children, have a look.
Students, before learning about conditional clauses, let us learn what do you mean by a clause. A clause is a group of words with its own subject and verb. We have two basic types of clauses. They are independent clause, which has a subject and a verb and it can stand by itself as a complete sentence, and subordinate or dependent clause. It has a subject and a verb but cannot stand by itself as a complete sentence. Independent clauses are complete because they make sense on their own. Subordinate or dependent clauses begin with subordinating conjunctions or relative pronouns. Students, here I want to show you the difference between the clause and a phrase. As I have already told you, a clause is a part of a sentence that contains a verb. That means it contains a subject and also a predicate. For example, he must stop laughing. They have done the job. In first sentence, he must stop laughing. Here children, he is the subject and the rest of the sentence must stop laughing is the predicate. Whereas children, in a phrase is a group of words that adds meaning to a sentence. But a phrase is not a sentence, children. For example, the information age, much too quickly to see clearly, after a very long walk. In all these examples, you can see only a small group of words, children, but they doesn't form any sentence or they doesn't give any sense. Fine. Students, can you see here some more examples showing the difference between a phrase and a clause? In the first sentence, Lola sang beautifully. This is a clause, children, as this sentence has both the subject as well as a predicate and it is giving some sense to that sentence. Whereas an abandoned ship, the white flower, opposite the park are phrases, children, as they are adding only meaning to the sentence but they doesn't give any sense to that sentence. Now, I hope you all understood the difference between a phrase and a clause. Let's move on to our conditional clauses. Children, in this lesson we are going to learn about conditional clauses. What are conditionals, children? The conditionals are used to talk about real or unreal situations, sometimes called if clauses. They are used to show an action is reliant on something else. Real conditional describes real life situations. Unreal conditional describes unreal imaginary situations. Conditional clauses consist of two sentences. One is a clause that starts with if, which is called as if clause. The other is called the main clause. Each sentence has a verb. It is important to know which tenses are to be used in these clauses and they play a big role in determining the meaning of the sentence. Students, if you can look here, this is the structure of a conditional sentence. A conditional sentence is composed of two parts, that is if clause plus main clause. For example, if it rains tomorrow, we will not come. Here, if it rains, this is the if clause, children. We will not come is the main clause. Let us learn about type 1 conditional clause. This type of conditional clause is used to express a real or very probable situation in the future. That is, it is used to talk about possible future events and their likely results. In this type of conditional clause, there is an if clause and a main clause. The sentence patterns follow cause and effect or conditions and their results or consequences. Children, we use simple present tense in the if clause and the future tense with will in the second clause, that is main clause. For example, if we work hard, we will finish the project on time. Here, if we work hard is in the present, simple present tense, children, and this is the condition, and the result of that condition is we will finish the project on time. Now children, here will is a simple future tense. Okay, here you have few more examples down. If I go to Italy next week for work, I'll visit the Colosseum. If I go to. So children, the sentence says that if I go to Italy next week for work, which is in a simple present tense. Go is a simple present, children. I'll visit. I'll is a contraction form of I will. Okay children, I will visit the Colosseum. If I have time tomorrow, if I have time tomorrow, I will help you. The condition in this sentence is if I have time tomorrow, I am going to help you. That is, I will help you. Will is a future event, children. That is the result or the consequence of the condition stated here, if I have time tomorrow. The third sentence is, if you touch that wire, you will get an electric shock. So children, the condition or the cause of the shock is here, touching the wire. If you touch that wire, you will get an electric shock. Will is a simple future tense. Here is the structural pattern or the sentence pattern of the type 1 conditional clause. That is, if clause plus simple present followed by simple future tense. Okay children, here you can see some more examples. If it rains, I will stay at home. If I wake up late, I will miss the bus. Here in these two sentences, rains and wake up are in simple present tense. I will stay at home, I will miss the bus are in simple future tense, which are formed as a result of the condition stated in the if clause. Clear children? I hope you all understood type 1 conditional clause. Let us move on to type 2 conditional clause. Let us learn about type 2 conditional clause. This type of conditional clause is used to express dreams, unreal situations and things that are unlikely to happen. That means this is an uncertain or unlikely condition, and it uses the past tense in the if clause even though it is not about something in the past, and it also uses would, which is the past tense form of will, in the main clause. For example, if I had money, I would give you. Here, had is the simple past tense. If clause plus simple past tense followed by I would give you. Subject plus would is again the past tense form of will. Similarly, if I didn't smoke, I would be healthy. If it didn't rain, we would go on a picnic. If I were you, I would want to be a doctor. Here you can see the structural pattern or the sentence pattern of type 2 conditional clause, that is if clause plus simple past tense followed by present conditional, that is would or wouldn't plus verb. Now here are few more examples. Let us look at them, children. If I won $1 million, I would buy a new car. If I were you, I would quit smoking. If I were the president, I would lower taxes. If I won $1 million, I could stop working. If I had more free time, I could travel around the world. Children, in all these sentences, you can see most of them are unreal or imaginary situations in the present or future. And you can also see cause and effect relationship between the sentences, that is the condition and its consequence. Okay children, I hope you all understood the type 2 conditional clause as well, and we will deal with the textual exercises now.
Okay children, now that I have explained you about the conditional clauses, that is type 1 and type 2, I hope you all understood it very clearly. Now, take out your textbooks, page number 46. You have here A bit children. Do this exercise as well as here in page number 47, B and C exercises, which are completely related to the explanation which I have given to you in the video. Okay children, do these exercises carefully without any hurry, and I am going to discuss with you the key in our next session. Okay children, stay safe.